It was supposed to be a fairy tale romance, R&B superstars Ashanti and Nelly, the ultimate power couple, creating a family and living happily ever after. But behind the glamorous public facade, a heartbreaking story was unfolding. As Ashanti carried Nelly's child, she found herself feeling increasingly alone and unsupported, crushed by the weight of Nelly's waning affection. This is the tragic tale of how Ashanti's joy turned to anguish, and a love story crumbled under the strain of fame, ego, and broken promises. It was the summer of 2023, and Ashanti was riding high. Her latest album had been a critical and commercial smash, and she and her longtime boyfriend Nelly were over the moon to be expecting their first child together. Ashanti beamed as she proudly revealed the news to her legions of adoring fans. "Nelly and I are thrilled to announce that we're going to be parents," she gushed. "This is a dream come true, and we can't wait to share this journey with all of you." The internet exploded with congratulations, as the prospect of Nelly and Ashanti raising a family together captivated the public imagination. In the early days of the pregnancy, Nelly seemed just as excited as Ashanti. He showered her with affection, rubbing her growing belly tenderly and talking excitedly about names and nursery themes. "My queen is carrying my prince or princess," he would coo, beaming with pride. Ashanti felt loved and supported, secure in the knowledge that Nelly would be by her side every step of the way. But as the months wore on, Ashanti began to notice a troubling change in Nelly's behavior. He became distant and distracted, spending more and more time away from home pursuing his own interests and commitments. What had once been a loving, attentive partnership started to feel like a solitary struggle. "I'd be lying in bed, my belly swelling, and Nelly would just be staring at his phone, barely acknowledging me," Ashanti would later confess. "I felt so alone." Ashanti tried to talk to Nelly, to understand what was causing this sudden emotional withdrawal. But he would become evasive and defensive whenever she broached the subject. "You're overreacting, Ash." "I'm still here, aren't I?" he would snap, before retreating back into his own world. Ashanti's heart sank as she realized that the man she loved, the one who had once been so devoted to her, was slipping away. "I just kept wondering, where is the Nelly I fell in love with? What happened to him?" she would recount, tears welling in her eyes. Ashanti's worst fears were soon confirmed when unsubstantiated rumors of Nelly's infidelity began to surface in the tabloids. At first, she refused to believe it, clinging to the hope that it was all just malicious gossip. But as the evidence mounted, Ashanti was forced to confront the devastating truth: Nelly had been unfaithful, betraying her trust and their unborn child. "I was crushed," she would later admit. "All I could think about was how I was going to get through this pregnancy alone." As Ashanti's due date approached, the distance between her and Nelly only grew. He became increasingly absent, both physically and emotionally, leaving Ashanti to navigate the challenges of pregnancy on her own. "I'd be sitting in the nursery, putting together the crib, and I'd just start crying," she confessed. "I needed Nelly there, holding my hand, telling me everything was going to be okay. But he was never around." When the time came for Ashanti to give birth, Nelly was conspicuously absent. She labored alone, save for the support of her mother and closest friends. As she cradled her newborn daughter in her arms, Ashanti couldn't help but feel a bittersweet mix of joy and sorrow. "This should have been the happiest moment of my life," she would later reflect. "But all I could think about was how Nelly wasn't there to share it with me." In the weeks and months that followed, Nelly's presence in Ashanti's and their daughter's lives remained sporadic and unreliable. He would breeze in and out, showering them with gifts and empty promises, only to disappear again for weeks on end. Ashanti found herself utterly depleted, torn between the demands of motherhood and the heartbreak of Nelly's abandonment.As Ashanti navigates this new chapter of her life, she is left to grapple with the shattered remains of a relationship that once burned so brightly. The promise of a happy family has been replaced by a painful reality: Nelly's love and support, which Ashanti had once counted on, has proved to be an illusion. She must now find the strength to forge ahead, to raise her daughter with the unwavering love and resilience that Nelly has failed to provide. It is a journey fraught with sorrow, but also one of resilience and self-discovery. Ashanti's story serves as a poignant reminder that even the most seemingly perfect love stories can crumble under the weight of broken promises and shattered trust.